Good morning. Good morning, friends at home. Happy 4th. I'm on my own in studio today, so you'll hear me on the mic. I'll be on the mat some and probably around the room some because there's no assistants. So that's what's happening today. I keep wanting to have a date with you to talk about Greece stuff. I'm gonna message you, see if are you around next week?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Can I take you for coffee or something?
That'd be great.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's getting close.
It's getting really close.
You know they have a terrible heat wave.
I mean, aren't we all? Yeah,
No,
the weather on the island looks really nice. I'm sure Athens will be horrible. Yeah,
It's always better.
yeah,
Greece and stuff.
yeah. Athens is going to be brutal.
I've talked to a couple friends that I've been talking to, and it's been really
Yeah.
miserable.
Oh,
But
man.
it's still early in July. I mean, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I know what we were in for. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're going to hell. And back.
But it will be beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be beautiful.
Yeah,
And you'll be in
yeah,
water, so
yeah.
it's always fun.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be more of a breeze.
We'll manage. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll send you a message.
Request already. Neck, please.
Yeah, neck and shoulders. Hi. Hi. You're my doctor or something? Okay. It's like so hard to put people in context. I ran into a woman at a kindergarten picnic in June, and I was like, "Where do I know you from?" I was like, "Oh my God, you rushed me." She rushed me from 8th and Walnut to 8th and Spruce the day I gave birth to my son in a wheelchair when I could I was like, "Oh my God, I remember you." Yeah, yeah. The staples. I feel like you helped with the staples. Trauma bond. Hi, Amanda. Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy 4th. We had a request for neck and shoulders. Any other requests? I feel like it's worth mentioning. Alex and I are leading a retreat to Greece, July 20th to 26th. I totally thought we were sold out, and then we had our pre-orientation meeting with the company, and we have one room left. So if anyone last minute is like, F it, I want to go on yoga retreat to Greece, it turns out there's one more room. If not, maybe me and Alex will just each have our own room, although we really like the slumber aspect. The 20th to the 26th. Though there happens to be this found feather of a room if anyone wants to join us. We're going to Greece. We typically do a tropical retreat in March, but some of you might remember those two very old men having a debate a little over a year ago. And I decided in that moment that we were going to have to make the next few years bucket list years, and that I didn't want to be selling a retreat during that election cycle. So I canceled Mexico and was like, we're going to Europe. And then after this, I'm thinking we might I know that there's a lot of sensitivity and concerns around international travel, so I'm going to be focusing on creating some really fun domestic retreats when I get back as well, because bucket list years. And going to Greece, I was digging in my own memory crates about learning a little about Greece over those years of education in the 80s and 90s and early aughts. And I was like, oh yeah, that idea of democracy is a Greek idea, ancient. And I woke up this morning, the first thing that popped into my head was this idea of a more perfect union. And that in the preamble to our Constitution, was that signed today? Is that what we're celebrating? The rest of my history, the Greek, it's a little foggy. That the idea of our democracy is very aspirational and experimental, and it was by no means anywhere near perfect at the time that we achieved that initial victory of the birth of this country. and that it's still something that we have to like work so hard to sustain and keep creating and sort of recreating. And I love the idea of a more perfect union because the word yoga, like its most sort of lay translation means union. Yoga means union. It's like when two things join together and there's union. It's when different things come together. There's union and there's collaboration. And in a lot of the yoga and Hindu mythology, there's this like reoccurring theme that like every union or collaboration invites conflict, and every conflict invites collaboration. And so there's like not a perfect union, there's just that aspiration to like bring things together and try to find sustainable alignments, which is exactly what we're doing strategically in a physical practice, that like somehow there's these bodies that fit together. There's like joints and muscle relationships and muscles that hold bones together. And it's like things had to go really right for these bodies to be sitting here in the forms that they're in. It's like really worth affirming and celebrating and acknowledging and honoring. And yet in this collaboration of embodiment, like we have aches and pains and tensions. Anyone have like, dare I say, personal conflict? Right? And so we come here to sort of align ourselves and attune ourselves, and in so doing we create more harmony, more peace, just like a more perfect union, not a perfection, but that constant aspiring towards something more aligned, more attuned, more at ease, more harmonious, more peaceful. And then we practice again and again because like an instrument, it gets out of tune. So you have to like tune the instrument every time you play it. And this idea that the more we tend to the inner self, the more we bring a more harmonious, peaceful, brilliant aspect of the self to those in the world around us. And it really does, in conscious, subconscious, and unconscious ways, serve as reminders to those around us. So I'm so glad you're here and chose to do this morning. Happy birthday to all the Cancers in the room, and Marka. Happy birthday. We had a request for neck and shoulders. I'm gonna be on my mat a lot today because I don't have assistance and we're live streaming. I will also come around and perhaps offer a little bit of hands-on or verbal assists here and there. And if we have enough balls to go around, I do wanna make sure that we can roll the neck and shoulders and head towards the end. Any other requests where you're feeling a little disjointed? Hips. Psoas hips.
Maybe any cues to protect the knees?
Okay, are your knees bugging you?
I just am always worried about knees.
Yeah, they're such a vulnerable joint. The knees are like the metaphor for America. This is a vulnerable joint. They are, and shoulders. They're very mobile, and we need to mobilize, and yet we need to do so in safe ways. So let's look at all of that today. For those who are new, I see a lot of friends visiting. If you're any out-of-towners, thank you so much. I don't know how you got here, but I'm so glad you're here. And I just want to take a moment to apologize on behalf of the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection for all the garbage outside. It's pretty gross at a baseline here often, but it's not usually this gross. So I apologize. Just pretend it's not there. And do what we call in yoga, kumbhak, or breath retention when you're walking in the streets. Okay. My name's Mariel. Again, I'm so glad you're here. Everything I offer is an invitation, not an obligation, so please feel free to take it or leave it. Similar to the ideals and virtues of democracy, we celebrate and affirm sovereignty. So this is your practice. You do you. We can move differently and still move together. And that's, the heart of our practice and the heart of this project. Make yourself as comfortable as humanly possible. You can sit against the wall. Feel free to lay down if that helps you feel more grounded and settled. We'll just take a moment to center. Notice where you are and how you are. The entire physical practice of yoga is first and foremost in service to the breath, to the gift of life that fills us, surrounds us, enlivens us, and connects us to ourselves and each other and all that is. The entire physical practice of yoga is first and foremost in service to the breath. And I always like to remind myself and everyone that, like, ordinarily we think of ourselves as a body with a breath. But in this practice of yoga and our practices of yoga, there's an invitation to imagine ourselves and experience ourselves as a breath with a body. Allow the breath to deepen and expand just by turning your awareness, the light of awareness, to the breath. Notice how naturally the breath deepens and expands in the light of awareness, the way that sort of flowers get bigger when they feel the sun. And as you turn the light of awareness to your breath, notice the currents of the breath. The inhale flows in and down and fills you up. The inhale ignites the heart, and the splendor of the heart illuminates and inspires your mind and your body. And as you exhale, let the breath pour out of you heartfelt in all directions. Breathing in and out through the nose, sinuses, allergies permitting. As you inhale, breathe deep down, let it fill you up. Allow the breath to ignite the heart center. And as you exhale, let this inner splendor radiate from inside out on the currents of your exhale as far and as wide as you can possibly imagine. The physical practice of yoga is an opportunity to align ourselves, engage ourselves, and stretch ourselves with integrity through aligned engagement, really mobilize ourselves with integrity through aligned engagement so that the gift of life that each breath offers can flow in us, as us, through us, from us, more deeply, more fully, more freely. So that the breath can circulate more deeply, more fully, more freely, in you, as you, through you, and from you. And in turn, this expanded capacity for life increases our bandwidth, our endurance, our stamina, our energy for life, for the gift of life itself. Imagine that. You are the gift of life that each breath offers. On your next inhale, you can bring your hands to heart center. If you're seated, you can bring your hands into prayer. If you're reclined, you can. Again, the breath ignites the heart, the splendor of the heart informs, illuminates, and inspires the mind and the body. And here in this gift of embodiment, we have an opportunity here and now together to experience ourselves in unity as the breath with various forms and bodies through which it flows. We'll set the tone for our practice today by sharing the voices of our hearts and the sound of an Om. Feel free to join into the sound or just let it wash over you. Deep breath in. Om. Bow to your heart, always present, intrinsically peaceful, utterly powerful. This is where the true teacher resides. Never further than your heart, which is never further than your breath. Keeping this connection inward unwavering, gently release your hands and blink open your eyes. If you're reclined, just gently in your own time, roll to one side, press through strong arms to lift your way up. And we're gonna meet in a tabletop position. As you come into tabletop position, place the hands at the top of the mat. Top corners of the mat. You can pad your knees with a blanket if you like. Look for the breath and follow the exhale to round your back. And as you inhale, arch. Undulating the movement and the currents of the breath. Notice what you feel, how it feels, and where you feel it. Now not to reduce yourself necessarily to one feeling, but to expand the light of awareness to see yourself and hold yourself more fully. Notice all the feels. There's a source of universal energy that consolidates itself into the form of the breath and then pours life into all that is, into infinite forms in order to see itself, reveal itself, experience itself, and express itself in you, as you, through you. We are one on the currents of the breath in infinite, finite forms. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And in and as each one of us, the infinite expression of divine diversity, we invite, we welcome collaboration, union, solidarity, knowing that with it comes all the drama, all the conflict, the dissonance, not to the point of being disheartened, but really so as to encourage a more perfect union. Pedal your feet a little bit from side to side. Notice what you feel, how it feels, where you feel it. Breathing in and out through the nose. These humid summer days are great for Ujjayi if you know it and love it. No worries if not. Just let the breath flow naturally, deeply, and fully in and out through your nose. We'll walk the feet halfway forward and the hands halfway back and just meet yourself somewhere in or around the middle of your mat. Bend the knees, climb your hands onto your thighs, knees bent like you're sitting back towards chair pose, Utkatasana. And as you inhale, arch, heart open, forward and up. Exhale, bow towards the heart. Inhale, arch, reach the arms forward, slide the ears back, biceps to the ears. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale, stand tall. Standing tall mountain. Feel both feet on the ground, and as you root into the earth, reach past your fingers. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. As you press your palms forward, suck the arm bones back into the sockets. Feel the shoulder blades come together as though you could hold something really precious right between the shoulder blades. And as you hug the shoulder blades together, start to press your palms up. I started strength training this past fall, so I can't even go all the way up anymore. Like I used to be like, wah. Yeah, not anymore, not with the connection. So as you press through the index finger knuckles, draw the little fingers back and down. And as the shoulder blades hug together behind you, energetically try to pull your hands apart. And notice what you feel, how it feels, where you feel it. Maybe every other person can step forward or back so that on your next exhale, you can feel your wingspan. Hands to heart. Feel both feet on the ground. Notice the breath, maybe even the rhythmic beating of your heart. Allow the field of awareness to expand to hold all these aspects. You stand your ground. You notice your breath. You feel the presence of your heart as you release the hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips tap the earth. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit deep. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the hands. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips tap the earth. Keep the heels heavy as you root through the balls of the feet. Reach the arms forward and up. Think ears back, biceps back, heels back. Root through the heels. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, hands to heart. So as you bend the legs, you're rooting through the heels to protect the knees. And as you stand tall, try not to let the knees lock back, okay? One more time like that. Release the hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs. Fingertips tap the earth. Lean into the balls of the feet, but keep the heels really heavy and anchored as you reach the arms up. Exhale, sit low. As you inhale, draw the kneecaps up more than back. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment to find and notice the rhythmic beating of your heart, always present, intrinsically peaceful, utterly powerful, and luminous. As the heart reverberates from inside out, let it illuminate every fiber of your being, every aspect. Release the hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the legs, fingertips touch the earth or blocks. Good news, lean into your fingertips, press your thighs back, reach your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back to lunge. Spin your back heel to the ground, and inhale for warrior two, back heel to the ground. Now, more of the weight and awareness tends to go in the front leg in these poses. Root through your back leg, and as you inhale, pull your feet towards each other. And rather than sort of reaching, leaning forward over your front leg, reach back to dial yourself into center, as though you can energetically hold the hand of the person behind you, whether you know them or not. Reach back all the way to ancient Greece and bend the front leg deeper. And the more you reach back to those ancient ideals, notice the more you can deepen and open the front leg. Squeeze the front heel in, guide the front knee open. One more breath. Exhale, touch the floor. Spin the back heel up, big forward Uttanasana. Get long through the spine. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back to lunge. Spin the back heel to the ground and inhale for warrior two. So the tendency is for the awareness to get really caught up in the front body, the front leg and what's in front of us. Pull the feet towards each other. Feel the strength of your legs, your grounded foundational strength and power. And as you pull the feet towards each other, reach straight back as you can hold the hand of all who came before you and tie that strength into a more of an opening in your front leg. Bend deeper. And if and when you're ready to find more, you pull the feet towards each other, reach back, bend deeper. Hug the front heel in, guide the front knee open. One more belly breath, deep and full. And on the exhale, touch the floor, downward facing dog. Check out that downward dog. Pedal the feet a little bit. That warrior two, if you stretch your stance, stand your ground and bend deeper, what you get effectively is a hip opener. And when you open the hips, you should feel more space through the whole backs of your legs. Not even necessarily having stretched them that much yet, just by opening the hips. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground, inhale for warrior two. Same idea, stretch your stance, maybe go a little bit wider between your feet. Pull the feet towards each other, reach back, bend deeper. This time, forearm to thigh as you sweep the left arm overhead, biceps alongside the ear. From the core of your pelvis, the depth of your being, root through your back leg. Pull your back foot towards your front foot and feel and find the strength of your back leg. And with the back leg strong, maybe anchor the tailbone down, the right butt cheek down, bend a little deeper from the top of the right thigh more than the knee. Think less bending the front leg and more moving the top of your front thigh towards your front heel. And then as you squeeze your front heel to the midline, guide the inner front thigh more open. Change nothing, just flip the left palm to the sky. Inhale, warrior two. Anyone on fire, push the front leg straight. Right fingertips to the floor or a block. I recommend a block inside or outside your front leg for Utthita Trikonasana, your triangle pose. If there's any strain whatsoever in the neck, shoulders, jaw, I really encourage you to just bring the left hand to the left hip. Bring a block higher under the right fingertips to eliminate or at least alleviate some of the stress and tension that creeps into the neck, shoulders, and jaw. Then you can even look down at your front foot. That'll help. Belly breathing. As you inhale, belly expands. Pull the feet towards each other and think kneecaps up more than back on both legs. And as the kneecaps lift up, press your thigh bones back, both legs. And then the tailbone, the sitting bones anchor, and the whole spine lengthen and extend. So when you're grounded from the waist down, you directly feel and experience more freedom from the waist up. Bend the front leg, lift the back heel, turn through lunge, take it back to downward facing dog. And maybe pedal it out a little bit from side to side, just to notice any newfound space through which the light of awareness can flow in and on the current breath. In you, as you, through you, more deeply, more fully, more freely. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. On your inhale, float your left leg to the sky. Exhale to catch your lunge. Back heel to the ground. Inhale for warrior two. You can stretch your stance if you like by walking the back foot back. And as you stretch your stance, stand your ground by pulling the feet back in towards each other. Feel the strength of your legs from the earth all the way up into your hips and pelvis. And as you reach back, bend deeper. Hold the center. Reach back, top of the left thigh towards the left heel. Good. Forearm to thigh. Reach the right arm overhead. Is that true? Okay. Always good to fact check, as we've learned by virtue of modern day democracy. Sorry, I joke. I'm trying to be better about that. Hug the left heel in as you guide the inner left thigh open. And then notice if the back leg, the part that roots you to the earth and connects you to the past, notice the awareness there. Push through the back leg, and then drag your back foot forward, and then hug your front heel in, and let the top of the front thigh descend. Tailbone lengthen, flip the right palm to the sky, inhale, warrior two. Push the front leg straight, think left kneecap up more than back. Exhale for triangle pose. Now this could be very different from side to side. Again, a block on a higher height underneath the left fingertips to alleviate unnecessary tension in the neck, shoulders, jaw area, throat. Right hand to the hip. Draw the right shoulder blade up and back to the spine, and you can look down, straight ahead, or up. But there really should be no strain in the neck. So looking down, if it helps, is great. Belly breathing. As you inhale, pull the feet towards each other, draw the kneecaps up. As you exhale, thigh bones back as you root through the tailbone and extend through the spine and the crown. Belly breathing. On your next exhale, pass through your lunge. Take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet a little bit just to check in. Again, to notice any newfound space. Let the inhale carry you to the top of a plank. Lower just your knees. You can pad with a blanket. As you exhale, take your pelvis forward and down towards the earth, just about halfway. And then bend the elbows a little bit just to shrug the shoulders up and back, and push the arms towards straight as you lower your pelvis. Point your feet and pull your hands towards your feet as you press your feet down and hug your heels in. Slide the palate back, claw the hands back. One more breath. Exhale for downward facing dog. Drink the breath in. Take it to heart. And whisper the breath out, heartfelt. Down through the arms, up through the hips, back through the thighs, and down through the heels. On an inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Okay, mindful of head to butt ratio here, just like be a decent neighbor. We're gonna walk our feet to the left, walk the hands to the left. Can bring blocks with you if your hamstrings are tight, so fingertips are to the floor or blocks. Turn your left knee and toes out a little bit and bend into your left leg until you feel a stretch through the inner right thigh. Push through your left leg, turn your left toes in, turn your right knee and toes out just a smidge. You don't need a lot here. This isn't like Skandasana. Just a sort of little baby bend in your right leg until you find and feel a stretch through the inner left thigh.
And then push the right leg straight, parallel your feet. Look at your feet to make sure they're parallel. Bring your hands to your outer shins and press the shins towards each other. Hug your feet towards each other. Maybe you can feel your inner thighs engage. And now wrap your hand around to your calves and hug the shoulder blades together as you brace your calves. Imagine you're holding, I don't know, a feather between your shoulder blades. And hug the shoulder blades together as you brace your calves. Keep your heels heavy, but bend your legs. And with your heels heavy, don't let the heels get light. Tip a little weight into the balls of your feet, still bracing your calves, still hugging the shoulder blades together. And as you press the calves forward now, push your thigh bones back. In effect, straightening your legs, but not from your knees moving back. The calves are being pulled forward as the thigh bones are pressing back to create a more perfect union in your knees and a pretty darn comprehensive stretch in your hamstrings. One more belly breath. Gently release the hands, turn the right knee and toes through lunge and take it back to downward facing dog. Look for your breath. You can rest in dog. You're welcome to rest in child's pose, or let your breath carry you through a linking vinyasa in the style of you. I like that chaturanga bypass, which is inhale to plank, lower the knees, keep the arms as straight as possible as you bring your pelvis to the earth. Point your feet, and as you press the feet down, pull your hands, claw your hands towards your feet. And the exhale, in your own time, we'll meet back together in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From the upper back, the bottom of the heart center, push through the arms, not onto the mat, but really think into the earth. So we are of the earth. And as you root through the arms into the earth, launch up through your hips. Lift your heels high, bend your knees deep, and as you bend your legs, take your butt high and wide, like you're sticking your butt out. I call that full moon action. And as you push through the arms and lift and spread the sitting bones, press your thigh bones up to the sky, not back. Think lift the thigh bones to the sky so the legs get straight. And as the thigh bones press up, let the heels get heavy. Woo, push through the arms to ground through the heels. Belly breath. On the inhale, lift the heels, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, catch your lunge. Again, mindful of head to butt ratio. Be decent about it. Stagger. Pivot your feet. Wide-legged forward fold. Locate your strap. Call me over if you need or want a strap, or interlace your hands behind your back for a shoulder stretch. Hug the shoulder blades together with the strap between the hands. Bring all the awareness now back to the feet and legs. As you inhale, hug the feet towards each other. Imagine you're one of the great goddesses with an extra set of arms, and you have imaginary arms bracing your shins in and pulling your calves forward. And you could feel hugging your shoulder blades together. And as you press the calves forward, press your thigh bones back. As you inhale, again, mindful of head to butt ratio, just reach your arms up to the sky, feel the chest open. And as you exhale, fold in a little deeper, let the arms get heavy overhead. Breathe into what can't be seen but can be felt. Soften the face. Let the head be heavy like ripe fruit. And on your next exhale, release the hands. Turn the left knee and toes through lunge. And take it back to downward facing dog. Drink the breath in, take it to heart, and from the heart, root through the arms to launch through the hips, press up through the thighs, and down through the heels. Inhale to plank. You can take chaturanga bypass or lower the knees or keep the legs straight, bend the elbows halfway for chaturanga. Keep the inner edges of the hands rooted, the fronts of the shoulders lifting as you lower the thighs and slide the heart forward and up. Claw the hands back. Imagine a headrest behind you that you're pushing back towards your heels. One more belly breath here. Gorgeous. On your exhale, we'll meet in downward dog. Breath to heart.
Heart to mind, mind to body. The breath ignites the heart, and the splendor of your heart informs and illuminates and inspires your mind and your body. And here in this gift of conscious breathing embodiment, on your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. And as you exhale, slide the right knee outside the right pigeon prep. You can also choose a low lunge if you want. Front-legged lunge, back knee on the ground. Blocks to frame your hips if you're in pigeon. Blocks inside the front leg if you prefer lunge. And then bring your awareness to your back leg, what can't be seen but can be felt, and tuck your back toes under and walk your back knee a little more to the midline and get a little bit more weight. And then inch the back knee back and notice if the weight falls to the inner knee, more weight to the outer knee. And as you inhale, pull the knees towards each other. You can bring your right block in front of you, bend your back leg, and with your left hand, reach back for your left foot. Bind yourself to yourself, or what can't be seen but can be felt. And as you press the back knee, you're more on the base of the thigh, by the way, like not on the kneecap. Notice how you're more on the base of the thigh here. Press that down, in, and forward. If you want more, take the block outside the front hip. Notice if you're tilting to the right, push through the right finger, hip to the left to find center. And as you root through the legs, maybe reach up, take flight. One more breath. And on your exhale, carefully release. Tuck the back toes, plant the hands, step it back to plank pose. Can lower your knees if you like. Stay right here in plank breathing. Maybe bend the elbows halfway. Push the arms straight. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Feel. Notice. Notice what you feel what you notice, particularly the difference, if any, from side to side, and what a difference makes. And now as we aspire towards the more perfect union on the inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale through to low lunge or pigeon prep. It doesn't have to be the same from side to side in the spirit and the service of equal opening, equal opportunity. Like if there's an injury on one knee, it's going to look different on that side. That's a good thing, in my opinion. Humble. Bring your awareness to your back leg, and with the back toes tucked under, can you get a little bit more weight to the outer edge of the back knee? And then pull the knees towards each other to actually lift the hips, which allows you to square the pelvis. Right hip forward, left hip crease back. Keep that as you bend the back leg, right hand for right foot. If you feel steady, you might bring the block outside the left hip. And if you're tipping to the left, root through your right, the base of your right thigh, press it down, in, and forward, and then push your left fingertips into the block to tilt to the right, just to find and expand the center. The back knee down, in, and forward. And from the connection to the back leg, maybe you find the freedom to take flight in the left arm. You gotta press the back knee down and forward to take flight. Gently release. Plant the hands. We're gonna take it back to forearm plank. Hold here without holding the breath. Or big breath in, hold the breath, bend the elbows. Exhale, push the arms straight. We'll meet in downward dog. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. On your inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale through to pigeon prep. Back toes tucked under. Bring your forearms to the floor in front of you. And let's place a block between the palms. And if you're broad across the shoulders, so we're holding the block like this between the palms, And if you're broad across the shoulders, or if you have like a shoulder ache, pain, injury, tweak, anything like that going on, you can give yourself a little more space by going block and a half here, okay? Squeeze the block to feel your arm muscles activate. Hug to the midline, draw to the center to feel more engagement, more even, sort of equal engagement of the muscles around the bones of the arms. Armpit slide forward. Hug the block, press the back knee and thigh up to the sky. Big breath in as you squeeze the block. Exhale, right foot meets the left foot for forearm plank. Hug to the midline. Hug the ankles, the shins to the midline. Squeeze the block, press the forearms down. Draw the bottom ribs towards the bottom tips of the shoulder blades and draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards the block. Breathing as you find and hold the power of the center. On your next exhale, start to tiptoe your feet towards the block, shoulders over the elbows, bend your legs, stick out your butt, think full moon action, and then press your thigh bones to the sky. Press the upper back, the heart center towards the thighs, and ground your heels towards the earth. Spread the toes, squeeze the block. Look towards the block, brow soft, lift the heels, walk it back. Lower the knees wide, big toes together, find child's pose. You can bring the palms together in Anjali Mudra. Bend the elbows, palms towards the sky. And as you press the elbows down, hug them in and pull them back. Press the elbows down, in and back. Press fingertips into fingertips to find and feel the space between the palms of your hands. Symbolic of the heart space, of placing the heart before the heart as a guide and an offering. Look towards the palms and notice how that activates those often overlooked, untended muscles in the upper back and back of the neck. Press the elbows down, in and back. And then release the palms to the earth. Claw yourself to table. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From that newfound awareness of and connection to the upper back, maybe the back bottom of the heart center, from right there deep inside yourself, from the root of the power of the heart, push through the arms to launch through the hips and ground through the heels, and thread yourself like a jewel on the thread of the breath. Let the breath flow in you, as you, through you, more deeply, more fully, more freely, finding and feeling your connection to each and every other jewel. On the inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale through to pigeon prep. Bring your forearms to the floor in front of you. Either hug the block or two blocks again between the palms. Total option, invitation, not an obligation. If you want more, it's a big if. Turn your palms up to the sky. And as you spread your fingers, try to glue your thumbs to the earth. Get long from hips to armpit, shoulders over the elbows. And soften between the shoulder blades. And here's the hard part. Can you keep like a soft, pillowy gaze to the top of the block? As you lift the back knee, gaze towards the block, left foot meets the right foot. Forearm plank. Squeeze the block. Lift the thighs. Anchor the tailbone. Feel your connection to your core. This is about strengthening your connection to your intrinsic power. The power is intrinsic. We often forget or overlook our intrinsic power. We're strengthening our awareness of our connection to the center. I'm regretting all the oil on my arms. Tiptoe your feet forward to come into dolphin. Notice if the head drop towards the feet, shrug your shoulders and try to look towards the block.
Hug the elbows in, hug the block, tippiest of tippy toes. As you inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Flex the right foot, turn the right toes in, and squeeze the right leg to the midline. And as you lift the left heel, press your right thigh across the room. Keep that as you exhale, ground through your left heel. Float the right foot down and rest in child's pose. Breathe into the back and sides of your waist like gills on a fish. Notice what you feel, how it feels where you feel it. And call your awareness to the unconditional support of gravity and the unconditional presence of the breath. And the loveliest of places where these two great energies coalesce, where the unconditional support of gravity intersects with, joins with the unconditional presence of the breath, is exactly how and where you find yourself in this union. It ignites the heart. Your forearms, palms up or hug the block variation. Let the armpits slide towards the fingertips and soften between the shoulder blades. And as you tuck the toes, rather than forearm plank this time, we're just going to come right into dolphin. On your tippiest of tippy toes, look forward as you walk forward, but try not to let the shoulders come forward. Resist the upper back as you tiptoe forward. And with the heels high, float the left leg to the sky. Flex the left foot, turn the left toes in, and press the inner left knee and thigh across the room. Look forward, upper back presses back as you ground your bottom heel towards the earth. Float the left foot down, walk it back. Child's pose, or full pranam if you prefer. Slow down the inhale, the breath ignites the heart. Slow down the exhale as the light of the heart reverberates and emanates from inside out in all directions, shining across galaxies. Inhale to table. Let's bring blocks under the hands. Walk your blocks a little to the left and step the right foot to lunge. Knee over the ankle, get the weight more at the band of skin, knee, and pull it forward. Take the blocks up higher, and as you bend the back leg, left hand for a left foot. Now the tendency is for most of the weight to drop down and forward and be distributed in the front body. For the psoas and the hips, you want to move your hips towards child's pose. You can bring the block with you. You might even have to slide that front foot back a little bit for stability and to protect the front knee. But we want to get the top of the back thigh and the back heel to touch. It's action over form. And rather than just cranking the heel forward, you're taking the top of the back thigh back at a faster rate. If you feel steady, and the thigh to come upright. And then this is like the cherry on top of the fireworks finale. As you pull the back knee forward, slide the ribs back, shoulders back, lean back. Breathe. Gently release. Take it back to table. We'll walk the blocks a little to the right. Step the left foot up to lunge. Front knee over the ankle, front knee and toes point straight ahead. And then I like to make that little adjustment so I feel like I'm catching the skin right above the knee. Feel that? And then press it down in and forward, bend the back leg. You can walk your hands, your blocks more to the right so that the right hand can find the foot. You shorten the distance. It's a lot. These muscles in the front of the thigh are
tight as heck. If you feel steady, maybe come inside the front leg and square yourself back to the front of your mat. Maybe come more upright. The key, though, is rather than dropping down and forward, to move like you're moving towards child's pose. When you move your hips towards your heels, like in child's pose, rather than just trying to crank the heel towards the hip. And then as you take the top of the back thigh back towards the back heel, think pull the back knee forward and slide the rib cage back. And that's aligning your psoas, which is your deepest core muscle group that holds you together from top to bottom and front to back. The back knee pulls forward, the ribs slide back. And you're dialed into the depth of what is holding you together. Gently release. And that's a good thing. There's a big difference between hinged and unhinged. So we all know. Downward dog. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want the knee to collapse in. So you can lower your knees, and it's a great question. Keyshawn just asked about like the direction of the front knee. So we definitely don't ever want that knee knocking in. That puts a lot of unhealthy pressure, misaligned tension on the inner knee. Knees are tricky. I mean, they're probably any like surgeons in the room or like athletes who've had knee stuff. The knee stuff, if you ever have to like go to get your knees checked out, those are probably some of the busiest waiting rooms. Like the knees get injured so easily, and they're often operated on because the surgeries are very effective. However, like the healing from knee surgery can feel like injury in and of itself. Anyone have had it? It's like the meniscus surgeries. And they don't, look, none of your body comes with a lifetime warranty. Boom, boom, boom. That's why I believe in an alignment-based yoga. It's like investing in the extended warranty. The body starts breaking down by 50. I think for most of us, we start to see around 30, the deterioration. Yeah, look at the youth in the room being like, yes, I feel it. And then knees are often surgeries that you have to have redone. So you want to be really mindful. So one of just like a pro tip to make sure your knee is tracking in line with your toes. And if you're, and so like if you notice your knee knocking in, I like to kind of track my knee, and the toes are, anyone else, like as you get older, the toes get kind of gnarled. If you're young, like look at grandparents' feet. None of us are immune or exempt from that. I even haven't bought Manolos in a long time. So your knee's gonna track towards like the base of your third and fourth toe. Maybe not the tip, but the base of the third or fourth toe. And then in this thigh stretch variation, I'm gonna focus on what the front leg looks like. We tend to take longer stances in our yoga lineage. So sometimes I noticed this in pictures. I was starting to feel a little bit of knee strain, that when I came into my thigh stretch, my knee was actually behind my ankle, and that was starting to cause strain. So I like to scooch the foot in so that the knee is over the ankle, never in, but certainly a more deeper pose. I don't know if I'm open enough for this, is gonna be like a wider pigeon variation this way. So the knee can open because that's like moving towards the lunge to the pigeon. It's a really wide pigeon. Ugh, and don't come out like this. But never in any pose, always towards the fourth and fifth toe. A lot of times the foot turns out too much, and that's not gonna cause knee pain as long as the knee's tracking towards the toes, but it might cause low back SI pain. Because as the foot turns out, these muscles are shortening, and that joint, it's not necessarily getting compressed, but it could get compressed. So these are all things to be mindful of, but no knees knocking in. Even in this one, let's just come up to stand. Did we do both sides? Okay, just come up to stand for a moment, and look at your feet, and make your feet hips width and parallel, and notice if the weight's falling A lot of knee stuff, you'll notice that the weight falls to one area. You can bend your legs. You can even look at your shoes, your weight falls to like one area of the foot. So if and when you are starting to feel knee pain, you want to look at that and really try to get the weight, and this is preventative as well, try to get the weight more evenly distributed between big toe ball mounds, inner heels, little toe ball mounds, outer heels. And as you bend your legs, here bring your hands to your outer shins and push your shins in with all your strength. Feel how your knees knock in? Now keep pressing your shins in with all your strength, but press your knees back out. And can you feel how that opens the pelvis and low back? Isn't that awesome? The shins press in, the inner knees press out. I'm just rooting down through the inner and outer heel evenly, but if you want to get really nerdy, press your inner heels out as you hug the shins in and press the inner knees out. Keep that as you hug the outer heels in. Woo! And then come up to stand and shake it out. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So there's all these deeper core muscles in your hips and butt that are connected through the chain to your heel. So even just like standing, we'll do less engagement, less action, and just feel. Press your inner heels out, and then hug your outer heels in. And can you see how those actions turn on different muscular engagement? And then just like out in the world, here in our bodies, we have muscle relationships of like certain muscles that tend to dominate others, which leads to misalignment, which leads to tension, and then sometimes aches, pains, injuries, suffering from the as above, so below, as below, so above, that type thing. So press the inner heels out and hug the outer heels in. And there's not going to be a perfect balance, but we aspire to more alignment, to more balance. Just being able to notice even. The more we see how to bring things into alignment in ourselves, the less complicated it seems out there, at least in the immediacy of community, you know? Thank God for South Philly, Philadelphia, all our garbage. Our garbage is so gross. Did anyone have that college project where you had to carry your garbage around for a week? I did. Yeah, like
The baby too. We had to do the baby and the garbage.
at the same time? Oh.
The baby and then the garbage.
Because like there's not, like babies make so much garbage.
No, you did the pregnancy, the garbage, and then you had to carry the baby that was crying.
Okay, awesome.
It was life skills.
Trauma bond. Inhale, reach the arms up. Find your breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, get long through the spine. I wish I had that part. Exhale, downward facing dog. And just starting to not regret those choices. They're at a really good phase at this moment. Inhale to plank. Exhale to your knees. Tuck your toes. Sit back on your heels. Toes tucked. So a lot of what's going on in the knees is connected to the alignment and the musculature in the soles of the feet. Press your heels back. Can manually widen your little toes. Just adds a dimension, like just one more flavor note, one more ingredient. Breathe. Takes the breath away, then come up. Yeah, and then go back in maybe for a breath. And I can hold this, but like for the mermaids in the room, I can like not hold my breath this long underwater, so we all have our gifts. We're gonna walk the hands forward, tap out the feet, and now with the feet pointed, squeeze the inner heels together. Can everyone feel that? Inner heels together. And with the inner heels together, sit back on your heels. Notice if the heels came apart, hug the heels together. And maybe manually widen those little toes again. I like to hold them there. And as you inhale, hug the heels together. And as you exhale, get heavy. You might notice you have a preference, and in fact, notice if you have a preference, feet pointed or toes tucked. Again, if it's taking your breath away, come out and go back in. And then walk it forward and tap it out. And tuck your toes. And sit back on your heels. And press the heels back. And breathe. And again, come out if it takes your breath away. And then rise up. I'm just sorry for this view. I just want to be able to be demonstrative. We're going to take a block between the knees in front, just between the knees, and so as you hug the block, take your feet outer hips width apart and point the feet and flick the toenails down and try to hug the outer ankles in so the feet don't sickle like this. The feet are extensions of the lower legs, so the inner and outer ankles are even. And then leading with your pubic bone, you're going to sit back between your heels on a blanket or a block as high as you need, as low as you can take it. If you go too far, the feet will start to sickle. That's terrible for the knees. So you got to think, hug the block between the knees. And you can even like put your hands inside your inner heels and press your inner heels into your hands. And maybe you can take it down a notch or sit back into Virasana, hero's pose. If you're feeling nostalgic later, maybe, or ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT is so life-changing about who are the heroes of democracy. You can sit in hero's pose and do a little research. You can walk your hands back if you want more. The key is as you take the hands back, try not to let the pubic bone uproot. Keep your pubic bone rooting down. As you walk the hands back, maybe come onto your forearms. You could also just stay upright so the tops of the thighs are rooting towards the earth. That's the key to the psoas release. And as the inner thighs, pubic bone root towards the earth, the buttock flesh flows towards the backs of the knees. And you might recline all the way. And bring your hands to your bottom ribs in front. Big breath in, pubic bone roots, and as you exhale, can you soften the bottom ribs towards the earth? Hug the block, hug those outer heels and ankles in, fan the toes wherever you are as you are. Supta Virasana. And then gently, carefully press through the arms to come back up. Find the blocks, walk the blocks forward to tabletop, and one at a time, stretch a heel back. Stretch through the heel, the ankle, the knee. Can alternate from side to side at your own pace, just to bring circulation back to these areas. And then find your way onto your back with your head facing the front of the room. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Bend your elbows alongside your waistline. And as you press your elbows down, puff up through your chest, your lungs, your heart, and wriggle the shoulder together behind like a little nest for the heart center. Press the center back of your skull down, press your elbows down, big breath in. As you exhale, stand through your feet to lift your hips up for bridge pose, the instrument of connection. And options here, you can let the palms come to rest anywhere on your midsection, and as you inhale, feel the rise of the breath, your feet on the ground, hug your feet and your legs to the midline. And as you exhale, feel the center soften as you press your feet down and forward and grow the bridge from inside out. Lift the chin a little bit, drink the breath in. And as you exhale, press your feet down and forward. You can also press your palms down into the earth for more leverage, or if the flexibility, the mobility is there, you can interlace your hands underneath you and press your forearms into the earth. Wherever you are, 3 more breaths. And as you inhale, magnetize the knees towards each other. And as you exhale, press your feet. Breath. And on the exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Feel the unconditional support of gravity, the unconditional presence of the breath, and again, the place where these two great powers, these great energies coalesce. This time, let's place a block between the thighs. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Hug the block between the fronts of the inner thighs. Bend the elbows alongside the waist. Press the elbows down to lift the chest up and wriggle the shoulder blades together to the spine. Press the center back of the skull down as you stand through the feet to lift the hips up. Palms can rest anywhere on your midsection. And as you inhale, feel the center expand. Hug the block, hug to the midline. And as you exhale, the center softens as you push through your feet, push through your legs, press your feet down and forward to grow the bridge from inside out. You can stay here or press the palms down into the earth, or interlace your hands underneath you, press the wrist knobs down, draw the shoulder blades in a little deeper, and or as you are, keeping the shoulder blades as they are, bend the elbows, point the elbow tips towards the sky, and bring your fingertips towards the floor outside the ears as wide as the mat. As you inhale, hug the block. As you exhale, press through arms and legs to come halfway up to the crown of your head. As you inhale, hug the block. As you exhale, push through the legs, suck the armpits in, and then push through arms and legs to rise up into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose. As you inhale, hug the block, breathe deeply and fully. As you exhale, press your feet down and forward to pump your heart forward the opposite direction. Spread the toes, claw the fingers, and on an exhale, slowly lower all the way back down to the ground. Put the block to the side. Take your feet, with the knees bent, take your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees rest against each other at the midline. Palms can rest on the midsection or down to the sides. Enjoy the rhythmic beating of your heart reverberating from inside out, setting the tone, attuning to the rhythmic beating of your heart, wherein the voice of the true teacher resides, the source of supreme love and divine wisdom, where every virtue imaginable and more resides. Let both knees fall gently to the right, mindful of props. Totally optional to place the right foot on top of the left thigh. You can release the arms down to the sides, keeps the palms on your center, or even reach the arms overhead if you like. Breathe deeply and fully. Feel and notice. And again, to bring the awareness back to the knee stuff, if the right foot is on top of the left thigh, as the weight of the top leg presses the bottom leg down, equally, with equal dynamic action, press the inner back thigh up into the top foot. The inner bottom thigh presses up as the outer top ankle presses down. And then to bring it more into the psoas, this is so nerdy, think pubic bone back, tailbone lengthens through the inner left knee. Yeah, the pubic bone goes back. It'll feel like you're sticking your butt out. Can everyone feel that? And then your tailbone lengthens in the direction of your inner bottom knee. And that's going to align the psoas. And you'll get you'll feel it in your left hip, maybe even all the way up through the left waistline. Release the right foot to the floor, inhale the legs through center, and then just stretch your legs out long, again, to feel the difference, if any, from side to side. Like, does anyone else's left leg feel longer and heavier? Yay, more spacious. It's the ultimate. Bend the legs, feet on the floor as wide as the mat. Let both knees fall gently to the left.
Palms can rest on the midsection, down to the sides, or up overhead. It can be different from side to side. Just choose what suits you. It's a way to commemorate and honor on this day of all days free will and agency, sovereignty. What suits you? And then the bigger question is, how is it in service to something greater than just yourself? Option to place the left ankle on top of the right thigh, totally optional. It might be cool on one side and not the other, which is absolutely acceptable. We affirm the differences from side to side beneath the surface of the skin that don't always meet the naked eye. What can't be seen but can be felt. And if the left ankle is on top of the right thigh, you can feel how the weight of the left leg helps to root the bottom leg. And then to create a more equal dynamic energy, as the top ankle presses down, press the inner bottom thigh up. So the top leg presses down and the bottom leg presses up equally. And breathe. And the pubic bone reaches back like you're sticking your butt out, or that full moon action. You create that curve, that opening in the pelvic floor, hip sockets, the curve in the low back. And then you, without diminishing, like you're not uncurving, but to lengthen the curve and support the opening, the tailbone lengthens through the inner right thigh and knee, the bottom inner thigh. You even think like buttock flesh flows towards the back of the knee, sitting bone flows towards the back of the knee, even as the top leg presses down and the bottom leg presses up. And then left foot to the floor, inhale the legs through center, stretch the legs out long. And mindful of neighbors, reach the arms overhead. You can go on a diagonal if you need. Stretch yourself from inside out through the legs and the arms. Huge breath in, and collectively exhale with an audible sigh. 2 more times, slowly, deeply, fully at your own pace. As you inhale the breath, ignite the heart, and as you exhale, press an audible breath out from the heart, far and wide, like rolling thunder. At the bottom of that breath, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. And give yourself the sweetest, most loving embrace. And as you wrap yourself around yourself, scan your body with your awareness to see if there's any final poses, movements, or adjustments that you need or want to make in order to feel completely prepared to fully relax. Happy baby. Add or remove layers, add or remove props. Take a sip of water. And as you're ready, spread yourself out on the altar of the earth. Make of yourself the sweetest, most heartfelt offering to the altar of the earth in reverence to all who have come before you and in honor of all that is and all that is yet to come. And as you place the weight of your being on the altar of the earth, acknowledge that the heavier you allow yourself to be, the lighter you become. Let all the fingers soften and gently curl in towards the center of the palms. If the arms are down to the sides, perhaps the tip of the index finger and thumb tips gently touch.
If it helps you to stay and feel grounded, you can let the palms rest on the midsection. Anywhere on the torso, maybe just below the navel, to feel the rise and fall of your breath in the palms of your hands. Look for the breath. And as best you can, as you soften towards stillness, let the breath hold your vision. And allow yourself to be fully occupied and held by the place where the unconditional support of gravity, the unconditional presence of the breath explore a more perfect union in you, as you. And if and when, as the mind wanders, call yourself back to the breath. And with each consecutive exhalation, release any last remaining bits of tension. All the muscles release their grip on the bones, and let all the bones soften and settle into the back body, into the lap of the earth. The toes soften, the soles of the feet, and the tops of the feet and the ankles soften and release. The lower legs, the calves, and the shins soften, and the knees soften. And energy flows fully and freely. From your toes through your knees. Now the upper legs soften and settle. The weight of the largest bones in your body, your thigh bones, release heavily. So that the groin soften, and the hips and the pelvis, and all the contents of the pelvis soften and expand and release, which allows the belly to soften. All the contents, the viscera, soften and expand inside. As the breath flows more deeply and fully in you, as you, through you, the rib cage softens, and all the contents of the rib cage soften and settle and open. Your lungs and your heart softens and opens. And the throat and the neck soften, and the shoulders soften and release into the lap of the earth, the upper arms to the elbows through the lower arms to the wrists, soften and settle. And then the hands, the palms, the backs of the hands, each and every finger, each and every joint softens. Now the muscles of your jaw soften. With the lips gently closed, the teeth come apart. Bless you. And as the teeth separate top from bottom inside the mouth, let the tip of your tongue just rest gently against the roof of your mouth, behind your top teeth. Let all the muscles around the eyes soften, the brow, the third eye. And as your face completely softens, let the weight of your head be heavy in the lap of the earth. So much so that there's little to no sense of separation between you and the earth, and the energy that fills you and surrounds you and connects you to all that is. For these final few moments, take refuge in the oneness and the interconnection and interdependence that is the gift of life. the eyes still closed and a steady gaze inward, invite a deep, full breath in and a slow, long breath out. And as you deepen your breath, again, feel how naturally your breath deepens you. The breath ignites your heart, and the splendor of your heart illuminates from inside out, inspiring your mind and your body so that your thoughts and your actions more clearly reflect and reveal the nature and spirit of your heart, the source of supreme love, divine wisdom, and virtuosity. As you drink the breath in and the breath ignites the heart, let the heart hold your vision, and from this perspective, let the light of your heart emanate from inside out as you exhale as far and as wide as you can possibly imagine. Send the splendor of your heart far and wide. As you draw the breath back into yourself and you take the world to heart, let the spirit that you are begin to gently wiggle your toes and your fingers, stretch your arms and your legs, awakening you from inside out in ways that just naturally feel good. And as the spirit that you are awakens the body that you have, let the body that you have embrace, affirm, and adorn and protect the spirit that you are, literally wrapping yourself around yourself. For this is, and you are, the gift of life. As you wrap yourself around yourself, when you're ready, bend your legs, feel both feet on the ground, and take a moment, a pause to call yourself down to earth and take a breath. And call yourself back to reality and take a breath. And take a moment to visualize the ways in which you stretch yourself and this practice of yoga into the activities of your daily life. A moment to acknowledge and honor and to hold in your heart of hearts who and how you want to be. For you are the offering. And as you're ready, gently roll to one side, press through strong arms, make your way into a comfortable seated posture, with your eyes closed and your hands folded before your heart in Anjali Mudra. In a gesture of sincere self-reverence that acknowledges and honors the voice of the true teacher, never further than your heart, which is never further than your breath, and a gesture that places this aspect of ourselves before us as a guide and an offering in all we do. In so doing, bringing more brilliance and beauty and goodness to those in the world around us. As you bow to your heart, with all my heart, I bow to every one of you. Thank you so much for your presence and your practice. And more than anything, I want to thank you with all my heart for all that you are and all that you do every single day of this life. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being together. I wish you a wonderful rest of the weekend. Enjoy yourself and each other. And again, with all my heart, I apologize literally, spiritually, for all of our garbage, for all of the garbage out there. There is I'll try to share it on my Instagram. I did see something about someone awesome who is for like a Cash App or PayPal or Venmo coming around and collecting for $15, or just like the message like for $15, or just say if you don't have $15, which I think is just so sweet and virtuous. And then hopefully, these people that we presumably elect will figure out how to do the right things this weekend. Thanks, everyone.